What's up, family barbecue gang? My Bobas, it's your boy Aim High, and I'm back with another episode of the Aim High podcast, joined by my lovely producer, just Mal. Mal, say what's up to him, baby.
Oh my God, so honored to be here once again. Second podcast really just brings honor to my soul.
Honor, and we're getting better at it with each and every try. Not without some hiccups, but we were not going to talk about it because we have a beautiful, gorgeous hunk of burnin' love man who is not only a hunk, but he is the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest leader in Fortnite esport organization, brand, whatever it is. He's at the top, the CEO of NorCal. Give it up for your man, NorCal Mitch. What's up, baby?
That is how you start with some energy. How is it going? Thank you so much for having me here, man. It's an honor. I'm really excited to tell you guys in the community more about NorCal, our foundation of positivity, helping others, and trying to inspire more to be, helpful in this community that, needs it so badly, especially in the time we are in right now in the current state of the world. So, yes, bringing some positivity, some love to this community, and a lot more smiles.
Let's go, bro. Hey, man, hey, listeners, guys, I'm excited about this podcast for a lot of reasons. Listen, Mitch, it's very obvious to me scrolling through your Twitter feed, the YouTube, learning about you and just the DMs and the conversations that we've had. Bro, you are a hard worker. You're passionate about the things that you create, and the NorCal and this organization is no different, man, and it's very evident in the way that it's ran. So I just want to first congratulate you on running a very nice at least, I mean, I don't know what goes on the inside. Maybe we're about to find out, but from the outside looking in, man, I mean, this is listen, this looks great, bro, and I'm really proud. I don't even know you like that, but I'm just very proud. I love when people succeed, bro. And absolutely, you're killing it, man. So guys, I'm excited. We're going to learn about NorCal today. We're going to learn about Mitch today. We're going to have some fun discussions about life. You know, who knows, love, I don't know, mystery, who knows? This could be a whole thing. So maybe this is the greatest 2-hour movie, 2-hour story, 2-hour conversation ever had. We don't know, but you're about to find out, right? So, hey, this is it. From what I know, I'm going to be honest, I found NorCal, playing Fortnite. So I believe, I'm dealing with a Fortnite esports organization. However, I could be wrong, and I'm excited to be wrong because I think that you guys do probably a little bit more than just Fortnite. Am I correct in saying that?
That is correct. As of recently, we are really trying to brand into we're a content creating organization.
Nice.
We're an influencing organization. We want to help. Doesn't matter what you play. It matters about the personality, the person you are.
Yeah.
And one of the things I preach most at NorCal, and I tell this to every single recruit when they go through their recruitment meeting, when they're getting into the team, I said, I cannot guarantee Fortnite will be there forever. I can't guarantee video games will be there forever. The one thing I can guarantee that will be there for you is who you are as a person. What is your character like? I want to teach you those fundamental values that you can take the rest of your life, whether you're looking at your teacher or your boss or your parents, and they ask you questions, you can look in the eye and answer with integrity, answer with, be proud. And it's just so important that we understand, like, yes, we produce a lot of Fortnite content. Yes, we're trying to branch into Call of Duty. Yes, we do house content. But the biggest thing we're trying to create here is our character, who we are as people, how we want to help others, how we want to be much greater than just ourselves in this little Fortnite world, because we know that in the big world, you're out there, there's so much more, right? You can't just get narrow-minded and think, oh, this is a Fortnite, sniping team or something like that. It's a lot more than that. It's a lot. We've helped a lot of people, understand more meaning of who they are and, working hard in this world to be successful. And when I say success, I really hope people understand I am not talking about followers. I'm not talking about money, clout, fame.
Talk to him, Mitch. Talk to him, baby.
That might come, and that might be a great benefit. That might make you, happy. But the biggest thing you need to focus on is being true to yourself, who you are, and being happy and appreciating yourself, respecting yourself, so you can live the rest of your life being happy. But that's where the NorCal success from is the influence you're creating and helping others. And that's why it's so important that NorCal is involved in our community, helping our community, responding to our messages, and just getting the community as involved as possible. And yes, there you go. That's a a little rundown of Fortnite team. Not really, more of like influencing content creating.
Fortnite team, kind of, but we're also this. Yes,
Yeah.
I love that, dude. Because here's the thing, man. I don't. Mal can tell you. I think because he's just heard it from me so often. I just listen. On this podcast, I want to have authentic conversations, and it just feels so much since the moment that I DM'd you and we've kind of talked and met, bro. Like you're so authentic, bro. Like 100. Like you really just ooze authenticity, and so and genuinely, I fuck with that. I really do. And so to me, it's like. Entering with that mindset, how could this not be successful? You know what I mean? And so you've done a great job. From what I understand, you've been able to plant an esports content creator house in the heart of Dallas, Texas. Is this what we're hearing? You're in Texas.
Welcome.
Yes. This is it. For the viewers of YouTube, this is it. You're seeing it.
Yes, absolutely. And we have spent so much time making this presentable as possible. This is my room.
So good, man.
200 feet of strip lights, LED. We got, the soundproof panels and stuff. And you can't really see my actual setup, but I got 3 monitors here. Actually, another one on the ground, like 2 PCs going, just so I can stay on top of all my craft. But I call this the headquarters. This is the headquarters. This is where all the busy work, all the hard work goes into it.
The HQ, and it looks nice, man. Now you see the detail, man, with the lights, and I love the blue and the black panels with the shirts. Everything is lit up. Everything. You know what this is? This is a phrase I like to use a lot when talking about creativity and like just brands in general. But I feel like this applies to this room right now. This is very aesthetically pleasing. Like this is. I look at it and I'm very aesthetically pleased. I'm like, you know what? I could watch this guy play video games and hang out because he's got a nice room. You know what I'm saying? He got a nice room.
I don't think you've seen me play Fortnite. If you think you can watch me play video games, I can talk maybe.
Yeah, hey, sometimes that's the benefit of having a room like that.
Sure,
maybe you know what I mean? They'll pay a little bit more attention to you than your gameplay.
Yeah, look at my lights.
Dude, it looks good though, man. Seriously. Thank you. Dude, can you walk us through just a little bit? And we're going to get in, obviously, to the meat and bones of what NorCal is, bro. But, I mean, listen, I heard, content creator house, Dallas, Texas, me being the ultimate immortal 6 Radiant 5 professional Valorant player that I am. I'm immediately like Texas, and I think about Ping. And for all the gamers listening right now, they're probably yelling into their headphones right now. Texas, what? You know what I mean? But walk us through, man. I mean, what was the decision like to go to Texas and not go to somewhere like, I don't know, Virginia or even you guys are NorCal, stay out in Northern California. What was the decision process for that, man?
Yeah. Okay. So Northern California, that's where my heart is. I would do that in a heartbeat, but I think we all know taxes. The price to just try to get one. One thing too is all of the people in this house came from across the country. Asking people to move across the country with all their stuff, it's harder than meeting in the middle. So that was also a big thing. But one of the biggest things is I sat down on a call with my managers one day, and I just said, I'm thinking about getting a house. He said, well, one of our managers had a house in Houston, so he said, okay, well, let's look into Houston area. It looked good. I started talking to all my members, the ones I knew that wanted to move out to a house, and it seemed pretty clear that we actually have an amazing connection here in Dallas. FaZe Mew, Carrie, he's amazing, and he loves NorCal. He's one of the reasons why we were able to be so successful is people like that talking well about us. And we said, okay, well, let's look into some of the real estate here. I found a real estate agent. She was great. She helped me really quick, and we were able just to start sending emails out to see what houses were available. And I was on an 8-mile hike one day, and I got a call saying, "Hey, you got the house." And
an 8-mile hike, holy!
Never ran down a hill so fast with a weight vest on before. I was
lit. I bet. So Mal has the house pulled. I don't know if you can see Mal's screen. Mal has
I can. Yes.
The house pulled up. That looks like a very nice house, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yes. Yeah. So one thing that's really amazing is it's a very new house. We haven't run into any problems. Well, I got to knock on wood now. We haven't run into any house problems that broken pipes or anything. However, we did because it's a newer area. It also did come with Google Fiber, which is our internet's a gigabyte up and down, which really does help. So the ping is not that bad. So now you mentioned that earlier. Everyone in the house is not actually a competitive player. We're a content creator, so ping didn't matter much. However, the benefit of being in Texas is you have good ping on East and West now, so you could actually play with anybody now from across the country. Not complain too much. Yes, it would be cool to be on zero, but as a content creator, the biggest thing is just being able to play and not be limited too much.
Yeah, have stuff that holds you back.
Yeah, as a competitive player, there'd probably be their issues here, but in general, just being a content creator, being able to play with anyone from any region within America, and even playing on EU is not the worst thing in the world. It's not the best, but I come from the West Coast, so it used to be a lot worse. We're very, 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 very thankful that this middle ground has been great. And also, everyone said, "Oh, Texas, you're going to be so hot." Oh, blah blah blah. Like it's freezing outside right now, and it's been cold ever since. And I like that. I like it where it's cold and stuff. I know it'll get hot during the summer, but we moved in here in August, and we really didn't have that many hot days. So everything about Texas, our community's amazing, our homeowners are amazing, our neighbors are amazing, everyone's so helpful and stuff. So it's literally just been the easiest transition. I mean, this is my first house. Not many people can say, "Look at my first house," and see what we got and be with your best friend. So yeah, that's a little bit about our house and getting down here.
I love that. And then just in case people can also, I mean, there's tons of YouTube content, guys, from NorCal here going into the house. Mal's gonna pull that up for you guys to show you where you guys can go for that. But I mean, dude, anytime an organization makes the investment and even has the capital to make an investment as such as a house, good content is about to follow, man. You know that. I mean, the possibilities when you bring creators together in that scenario is unlimited, to be honest with you.
Yep.
So you mentioned before, you talked about members that were interested in moving out into the house. How many people live in the house? I know that we just saw a picture and I should have counted. Yeah. Sure. How many people were there? Looks like
that's
5.
A total of 5 right there.
Yeah, 5. Yes. So what was the decision to bring those other 4 people with you? Was it just like they were the first people that were like, "Hey, I want to move out," or was this a strategic plan?
Yeah, no, it's a very good question. I keep things fair at NorCal. I don't try to put anyone above anyone. So what I did at first is I went through my whole roster and I said, okay, who is I know that is old enough, that is past high school and is not in college, or they're out of college, or they live on their own. And I just made a whole group chat of everyone that has the possibility where if they're offered a house, they could. So I sent a big message and I said, if you were interested in hearing about more, stay here. If not, leave this group. And we narrowed it down to about 8 people, which was great. Just start off like 8 people. We can get 2 houses of 4. Now, one person that said yes had some issues. So we narrowed it down. It ended up being, down to, just down to these 5. And here's the beautiful thing. And this is something that I try to stress, because this is amazing, right? This is living your dream. And so many people want that content house. The hardest thing by far, people don't understand about getting a content house. It is not getting the house, paying the money, getting the move. None of that. None of the house is relevant. The hardest thing about getting a house is living with the right people. Like if you don't love those guys that live next to you and that you can wake up and deal with every day, or they actually take out the trash when you ask them, or they can actually do their stuff, make their payments. That is the hardest thing. And I kid you not, we are the best friends here. We talk every day. Me and my co-owner who lives in the next room, we get up every single day at 9:30. We go to the gym every morning. We do work together. We come home. We have a schedule. We go shopping together. Like everyone else, helps chip in. It is literally the most amazing thing to not just be like, this is the NorCal content house. This is my best friend's house. It's all of your best friends. You can't ask for anything more. And that's the hardest thing. Everyone's just like, oh, I want to go live in with that guy. We're going to go get houses. You don't even know those guys. You have no idea. You know them online, right? Yeah, they can hit a trick shot.
This is scary.
You live with them day after day after day. It's really tough. People. Yeah. So I've been blessed. I love these guys in the house. I mean, literally every single day. There's something new coming up. We're doing something and the beautiful thing is when you live in a house like this, all of us, are paying, are helping split some utilities and stuff everyone chips in at some point. Everyone says, I'll buy the eggs for the house. Oh, I'll buy this tank of gas. You know what I mean? So it's there's just no drama. And that's, granted, we're only, 3 or 4 months in. But again,
that's huge, though, man. I mean, listen, chemistry is take it from a guy who I've been around the world in America and lived a ton of different places with a ton of different people, man. And I'm telling you, it's not easy to find roommates that you like. And when you do, it's honestly a refreshing feeling, especially for you in this situation, because we can kind of sympathize with the fact, this is your best friend's house, but at the same time, Mitch, I mean, hey, this is a business for you. So there's a lot of pressure, maybe not for those guys, but for you to kind of go, okay, am I making the right decision by putting these people together? And then when you see like something like that work, man, it's just got to be a huge relief for you and a huge just like, okay, this has to be like we are heading in the right direction.
Yep.
Which I think you guys are, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, one thing, this might be kind of cocky to say, is that like I work my ass off to make sure things will work out. You know what I mean?
That's awesome,
like some things aren't in my control, but like I'm to the point where, if I know something might be tough or difficult or have the opportunity to fail, like I know I have enough connections and enough heart and enough, perseverance to make things work out. So, the fact that we got this house, most people, you sign, your lease and whatever it is, but for me, like I had a whole new list of things that I wanted them to agree to so we can all work together. So, there's no drama stuff. And every single one of them chipped in. I'll do this, I'll do that, and again, like I said, when I've been the only owner of NorCal. I started this from zero and I made it like when you're the top dog, like, the head guy, and you set your standards and people have the choice. You can either be a part of this and follow them or not, go do your own thing. So that's the thing. It's like, I always set these standards where people come in and they have to do, and it's not like I'm, like controlling them, but it's just like, hey, we're positive here. If you say these words in the past, like you can't do that anymore. That's just how we run our team.
Okay, you got a lot of experience with football from what I've understood.
Yes.
So I mean, like, dude, a lot of it, and I've played football too. So like, and Mal played football as well. So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, like, listen, not everybody's gonna not necessarily but like the rules a head coach sets.
Sure.
But the reality is, like, that guy, at least at a college down level, is the man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, listen, like, you can either buy into that culture and be a part of something that at the end of the journey is going to be rewarding, or you can be destructive and, sink the ship. And you know what I mean? And so it's kind of like one of those things where at least I'm hearing from you that I feel like a lot of sports influence from you. Is that correct? Like in the way that you lead and the way that you want to like make this thing go. Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every sport I've played growing up, I've wanted to be the captain. I've wanted to be a leader. I've wanted to be the coach. That's what I love. I love guiding. I love helping. So what happened was, if you don't mind a little story right here.
Go for it, bro.
So, absolutely. So again, I came into college. I ended up playing baseball, football. I was a 4-year starter in football. My sophomore year, the last game, I dislocated my knee of the last game. I ended up being okay. Come back the year after that, second to last game, was a junior, dislocated my knee again. So senior year, I had the option. I can get surgery, full reconstruction, and be out for 10 to 12 months, which I would be back for the next season. But again, you were out for 10 months, who knows how many, burgers and donuts I would have eaten and been out of shape. So I told the coaches, I'm going to skip surgery, but I'm just going to run a really high chance to dislocate my knee in football again. Again, I'm the captain and stuff, and they believed in me that I was making the right choice. However, not a lot of people are going to like this, but as a practice, like they didn't want me to dislocate my knee. I'm like the heart and soul of the defense. I've been here for 4 years. Yeah. So I actually got a whistle at practice. I did not practice my senior year. I was a coach.
What?
I got to coach the linebackers and work with the linebacker coach and come up with games plans and be in the meeting rooms. And, that was me. I was a coach at heart. I loved coaching. And then when the games come, yeah, of course, I was in there, making all the plays and stuff. And, but people at that point had so much respect for me, which it wasn't. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I have to look. I actually have my first whistle here still. Like I have it with me. It's like in my blood, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. So out of college, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I really didn't. But I loved coaching, and I loved it to death. And I ended up getting a Division II coaching offer from Southeastern Oklahoma State University. And I was supposed to go over there and be a linebacker coach, and that was my plan. That was what I was going to want to do. And that was it. I had NorCal. It wasn't that big at the time, but it was something growing. I loved it to death. So something kind of hit me. Two things hit me. One, I loved coaching to death. And the reason I loved coaching was because I like to teach. I like to help people. Well, on a football field, I can only teach and coach 50 to 60, 70 people at a time because that's who you are.
Yeah.
Going through a whole year doing that, I would love to do that. But as NorCal grew a lot, I was realizing like I could teach so many people how to be happy, how to work harder, and be that positive influence. So 3 weeks before I was supposed to report, I ended up calling my coach and telling him like, hey, I love this offer and I'm sorry to do this so late, but I'm going to, and this is my dream. I want to run this organization, my Fortnite team. I say Fortnite team. So at the time, we were just a Fortnite team. And so he understood, and to this day we still text. He doesn't take it to heart, and he even asked me to this day. He said, "Are you looking to hire me?" As a joke, like he wants to come work for me because he sees our success and stuff. So,
awesome.
So that's been just taking that call with a coach. I was hyperventilating. I was crying because I felt like I was letting my coach down. Like someone. So he was actually my coach in college. He moved on to another school. He offered me there to be a coach for him. So it was like my coach that had coached me all 4 years in college. I felt like I was letting him down and all that stuff. And I remember I declined that offer and I got on stream. And as I was streaming, I told my stream, and there's a couple hundred people there. And I was like, hey, listen, guys, sometimes, you got to shoot for your dreams. And this is me doing that. I want to let you guys know I declined the coaching option so I could stick and run NorCal. Huge shout out to my parents for letting me take that opportunity because I wouldn't have a place to live. I stayed at home for one more year after college before getting this house. That's kind of how NorCal started. It was like,
holy,
I shot for my dream. So yeah, that was
that's okay, dude. And that makes me fuck with you even more, bro, because that is like something like to me, okay, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way about this, but there is something to be like, okay, like I don't know, like, and not to like, everybody's journey is it's not saying that everybody has easier journeys or whatever than anybody else. But what I'm saying though is like there's a level of respect that I feel like I can give someone when I know that like, hey, like something just wasn't given to them or whatever, or something, they just kind of didn't just find themselves in this crazy situation. Like, dude, you had a legitimate like decision to make where like you not only was your decision going to affect your life, but your decision is going to affect other people's lives, like your coach. And to me, like seeing how much you care about that with like, oh, like I was crying, I was hyperventilating, that stuff to me tells me that like, okay, that's how serious NorCal was to you.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Which is like, no wonder it's blowing up. No wonder you guys are finding success, because I think that listen, when you care about something, people realize that. Like it's very easy to see through people who don't give a shit about what they do.
Sure.
So I don't know, man. I just really respect that, and I really love that about your story right there. Dude, okay, can we talk just a little bit too about, we're talking about sports.
Sure.
I'm a huge sports guy.
Sure.
Big super Seattle Seahawks fan, and what I've understood is you're a 49ers fan.
Sir.
So we're already not friends anymore, but I'm kidding. But what I want to talk about, man, is just the whole idea about esports really excites me. Because it starts getting into that kind of NFL free agency, building a team, being the GM. That's what you're doing, man. You're having this kind of set out this plan to say, for the sports guys out there, it's like, okay, who may not understand esports or whatever, really to an extent. Mitch is like the GM here, or really in essence, he's really the head coach, saying, okay, there's a ton of, for football guys out there, there's a ton of offenses you can run, right? You can run a pistol offense, you can run a West Coast offense, you can run an air raid, you can run, whatever, shotgun spread, you can run triple option, whatever, all these different offenses, right? For esports, it's like, yo, you can go in a ton of different ways. You could be Fortnite, you could do, like you said, content creation. There's a ton of things to try to get eyeballs on you, and you're having to pick and select the right members of that team, right? To say, okay, who's gonna carry out my plan to the best of their ability, and I can really trust in that scenario. So I guess where I'm leading this, Mitch, is, I don't want you to go into any, don't feel like you need to spill any secrets here or whatever, because I don't know how, crazy the esports organization secret stuff work is behind the scenes. But can you walk us through just decision making on how to navigate esports in general, the games that are always changing, the players that you want to try to look for? I know that you guys have a big, at least from what I've been able to see, man, on Twitter, you guys have a big NorCal recruitment trending stuff going on. There's a ton of people with NorCal RC in their names. I mean, they want to be a part of the team, man. And I even know a guy. One of my good online friends is trying to chase NorCal right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's like one of those things, man, where it's like, hey, listen, this is obviously working.
Yes.
Why is it working? What's your plan? What's been going on here, and who are the right people? And what are the right people? What do you look for?
Yeah, absolutely. A great question. Okay, so the biggest thing that I tell people is the first thing I'd never look at is numbers. I have a lot of followers. I get a lot of views on my video. There's only enough algorithm songs and just lucky chances where someone shouts you out and you get viewers, or I don't care about that. So the number one thing that I look for is who you are as a person. We talked about the character, integrity, and that's really important to me. And I can easily find, if you give me 10 minutes in someone's Twitter feed or their Twitch, and I can just kind of review their content, what they're posting, how they interact with their community. Are they using Facecam to present to their community, to talk to them, or are they not Facecam, or how do they interact when maybe a troll comes through and says some mean things? Do they dismiss it or do they engage? You know what I mean? I can tell so quickly if someone is in it for the right reasons. I do a lot of recruiting talks. I get in calls with people that might be interested, and believe it or not, I never, ever, ever, ever start a conversation with their content or a video game or anything like that. I ask them how they're doing, how their day is, just like anyone else. I'll start talking to them about life. Hey, do you play any sports? And I usually like to get involved. Like, hey, do you work? If you work, you're held to some sort of accountability standard or time management standard. So right away, boom, he works. Okay, that's good. I know that. If maybe on the little younger side, what's your GPA look like? Obviously we don't have to get into the nitty gritty, but I can tell a lot just who you are as a person, just how you act on a daily basis. And that was what is so critical for me in NorCal. Is when I started this team, I had nothing. I started every social at 0 followers. I did not buy, I did not bot, I did not ask for shout outs. I did nothing. I started from scratch, all of our different social media. And when you do that, and when you start, if I try to sit there and go, oh, that person has followers, that person has followers, and try to recruit that, two things happen. The first thing that's going to happen is those people are just like, oh, I'm going to come on this team and I'm going to try to get more followers and stuff. That's not really building into a team. They don't want to, really help grow the next side of NorCal. But another thing is, if that person really is getting followers and they're doing well, why would they stay on a team so small? Why wouldn't they just, move on? So when I started NorCal, I really focused on I want the right people. I don't need the best. I don't need the biggest. I need the right people.
The right people.
That can work together and build in, everyone has to be working on the same page. And it's my responsibility to sit there and just check in with people. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, someone that might lead this position group. Hey, how's this position group going? All those little things are so important when building a team. And you're right. When I was, you always make mistakes and you learn from your mistakes. I probably picked up some people that I shouldn't have, or maybe 1 or 2 times they, were a part of another large team and then they came and, maybe they just weren't as motivated. So you do try to pick out this person, maybe this person. But I will say one of the biggest things that's been a huge success in NorCal is, as the only owner of the team and only 1 co-owner, and then we have 4 managers, we are super close and we all talk and we all go through and we all cover it and we work together. It isn't possible for me to see everyone in the community, see all their content. Yeah. So the fact that they can help me and stuff is super important and stuff. And that's probably the most asked about position in NorCal. Can I join as your managers and stuff? And I have not picked up a manager in over 6 months. Even before that, maybe the last year and a half, I picked up maybe 1 manager. It is so important that my managers are people that know our community, work with our community, and people I trust. Because people just say, "Oh, he managed another team, he can come on." I'm like, that's I'm not that other team. I'm a family. I'm way different. You better, our managers better know our.
In a way, they got to be an extension of you.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I set the standards up here. Everyone is going to be falling under those standards and talking and working with each other. And again, I don't try to put myself above anybody on this team. The lowest player on the team, the littlest following, he can come to me with someone they want to recruit, and I will sit down and listen to him just as much as maybe my co-owner coming to me about someone. I generally appreciate and know everyone's here for the right reason. I listen to them and we always talk through it. And like I said, it's all about, is he a good person? Does he have good heart? Does he have good integrity? All that kind of stuff. It all goes into this. So,
and dude, and to me, it's that's building a team that way and going about it the right way saves you from headaches later. Right?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's one of those things where, like you said, you're talking about oh, maybe we bring in this guy from this team or this team and they did really well, but it's not always the same connection.
Sure.
And I mean, yeah, dude, that's like any GM or coach. They make a couple mistakes, bring in some. I mean, look at the Dallas Cowboys. Am I right? You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things. Not everybody gets it right? You know what I mean? There's things that happen. But dude, especially is it weird? I mean, I'm just thinking off the top of my head right now. I feel like it would be so weird to be, maybe a little bit older and having a team and having to look at some of these young cats out here in the Fortnite scene. And it's okay, are they mature enough to kind of do this, or, you know what I mean? Or do we kind of look past that and we kind of hope that we can kind of, because I mean, a lot of these young cats are pretty good at video games, man. You know, they're out there, cracked out of their mind, bro, on G Fuel and Mountain Dew, hopped up, just out here hitting shots, bro.
Yep, absolutely.
So, like, what is there like a different like type of thing, with like younger players and like trying to like figure that aspect and that dynamic out? I wouldn't even know where to start. I'd be like, yo, listen, just don't be weird, kid. And you can join.
Yeah, well, like I said, everybody in NorCal, regardless of the age when you join, is held to the same standard. So, like I said earlier, we do our background checks. I can tell you how well they can mature and behave. And not only that, most people that get into the team, we're friends with someone on the team or know someone on the team. So I can always kind of go and refer, hey, is this guy a good person? You know, I'm never just like, oh, that guy's good, he's blowing up, pick him up. I would do my background research and stuff.
Yeah.
I will say one thing that I think is a little bit different from NorCal, and it might hurt us, but also I think helps us more, is we do have a generally bigger roster than most teams. But having that bigger roster allows for, like, you know, if someone maybe from a younger age can come on. Well, we have
can I ask real quick
age.
before you continue? What's your roster number? And like, what if you could tell me if you know for the people at home, what's a normal roster number?
Yeah, sir. It all depends. There's a lot of teams, then there's like a lot of more of the professionals. So right now we're at about 90 people on like our roster of, that's with just players and content creators. However, we have all of our editors and graphic designers that come and make it about maybe 105, 110 at the most. Kind of depends sometimes, you know, just if we're kind of during a recruiting week or maybe we had to release a few players. In a normal roster, I would probably say it's between 60 to 70 maybe. Again, it all depends. Some teams are a little bit on the, you know, if it's a more contract-based, more money-involved team,
are you guys contract? Can I ask that?
We do have contracts, but I will say right now, no one has been contracted, and everyone is here because they generally love what we do. They love the team. They love building the positivity. I do have MSAs. I've written them all up with my lawyers and stuff, and I'm ready to pull the trigger if the time permits it. But I always just get a little nervous with that because there's just not, you know, if you're gonna pay someone, you have to make a return on investment, and right now,
absolutely.
Return on investment for me isn't, I get a lot more followers or something like that, because I don't know how much influence I can have on that. So I've just been a little bit hesitant, really trying to pull my trigger and go for the right people because I know they're going to help NorCal blow up. So I'm being patient with it. And, you know, as of right now, everyone on the team just loves what we do. You know, the biggest thing is you have a family. Like, you know, our Discords where we talk, 50% of it is Fortnite related. 50% of it is, I have bio homework. I need help. Hey, anybody read this chapter of Huckleberry Finn? Like, it is literally just a free friend group of helping each other stuff. So, yeah, one of the fun ones this year was a lot of the guys came to the chat because they were trying to make signs to ask like the girls out for homecoming, and like we were all trying to create funny Fortnite like memes and stuff, and like that's what NorCal's about, right? Like we're all helping.
I love that,
way
man.
Past Fortnite. Yeah, it's always. Homework help is probably the biggest one.
Dude, I wish when I was younger, bro, I have a group of friends that come in and be like, yo, somebody help me with my biology homework.
Let me tell you how many calls I've sat on for bio, algebra, geometry. I've almost relearned lessons just to help some of these guys get through
Mitch is out here learning, you're learning things, bro.
Yep. Absolutely, man.
I love that, man.
Well, thank you, dude.
Talk to us too, just a little bit about the future, bro. Like, what's going on with NorCal? What's the future look like for you guys, man?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the biggest thing is we've been branding off of montages, which our montages are still doing very well, which I'm very proud of because it has been a dying scene. Just not people like we've just seen all the trick shots possible. So one thing I'm really investing in right now is 3D and modeling and graphic design through 3D work. You can just be a lot more creative. It's a lot more movie-like. So a lot of the montages and projects you're going to see are going to have a lot more 3D invested in it. So it's more like a movie with some of these clips rather than just like basic cinematics from replays of these simple Call of Duty or Fortnite montages. One of the biggest things too is we have the house. If I didn't use the house, I'd be silly. So we are just like putting a lot of time in. Like I set up once a week. We have some content video where I tell everyone a time, a place. I set it all up. We get our cameras out. We get the table, lights on, action. You go for a couple hours. You film it. You contact editors. That's the biggest thing. I think one of the biggest things right now with NorCal is we're moving, again, like I said earlier, away from Fortnite and more towards influencing content branding. But the biggest thing is like I want lifestyle brands, so that's why we came out with these.
They look so clean.
Our this is our street merch wear that didn't come out came out not too long ago. I can show you a couple designs later if we have time, but again, we have a bunch of different designs. But again, it's like shirts and hoodies and sweatshirts, and I made a huge investment very recently with a lot of Christmas limited time edition stuff coming soon.
That
so that's really cool.
that top second one, the teal, that one, I don't know if that's teal, popular. Turquoise. Yeah. That one is freaking sexy.
Yep. That one's been by far. I think I only have one left after I ordered a bunch of them. They sell out.
Send
so
it to me, brother.
I'll send out something. I'll send you guys some stuff. Absolutely.
No, dude, you don't need to do that. But I'm telling you that looks so clean, bro. I mean, bro. Call the designer for that. Tell him, hey, we're giving you a raise, bro. That's dude, and I don't know. We did have some technical difficulties, so I don't remember exactly what happened. But I know that we have in the past talked about just the name NorCal, how clean that is, how trendy that is, catchy. I mean, dude, you guys probably just out the wazoo and ideas on how to freaking brand this and just trend this, bro.
Tell me.
Is that something that you outsource, or is that you guys? Like, do you have a team that like just sits around and is like, hey, how can we make this name clean? How can we do some design work? How can what's that process like?
Yeah, so it's 100% me when it comes to that. We have
that's all you.
Words. Yeah, well, no, I don't do the graphics. I just work with the graphic designers, putting the right people on the project. I wish, maybe maybe one day.
I was about to lose my mind, Mitch. I was giving you the crown, brother.
Yeah. I wish, dude. No, the designer for these actually that you've seen, his name is Park. And he's an illustrator, and he's been one of the best. He actually recently became one of our lead graphic designers, and he's been amazing. Like I said, these guys aren't just good at graphic design; they're good people. They help with all of our decision making, and like he'll go into DMs making sure people mental health is okay. So, it's really cool. So we actually have two different distributors. One actually comes from the house. I order all the street merch in bulks, and then I sell it. And then we actually have our pro shop, which is done by Magnus Apparel. They're actually out in Australia. They do they handle all of the other stuff. So
click on those sweatpants, the white sweatpants.
Yeah, the white sweatpants are very clean. I like those. So yeah, just again, like I said, just trying to move into that content influencing lifestyle brand. Like that's like the biggest thing that NorCal I think is going for in the future is we're going to keep producing montages, but at some point, like, where are you making money? What kind of influence do you have in the community? And I want that to be like, when you walk around, you'll say like, damn, that's NorCal. That's those are the guys that are just smiling and helping people all the time. Not, oh, that's a Fortnite team. So that's like, that's the next step in NorCal. How can I get that change going? Like we, real quick, like we went to Six Flags with FaZe Mew, right? For,
dude, was it in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
in Texas,
there's a ride, before you continue your story, there's a ride there in Six Flags, and I can't think of the name, bro. But it is absolutely insane, and it's like one of the steepest drops.
Oh man, straight down.
And I can't think of the name, bro.
I can't either, dude.
I'm actually choking right now. Oh my god, because it's actually so sick, and I know that if I said it, me and you both would share a moment of like, dude, we were on that ride, and it was because I'm sure you did the ride. I'm sure you did this ride because it's literally so incredible. But continue, bro. Six Flags over Texas.
Anyways, when we went around, we wore like our NorCal masks and we are certain stuff, and people recognize us, and like that's like the first time we start getting recognized in public is at a place like that where obviously there is a lot of people that would know what NorCal is there rather than walking into a library. I'm sure not many people know what NorCal is, but that's the next steps in NorCal. Like, I'm going to keep producing content. We have so many projects being designed and built and stuff, but it really is just getting into lifestyle branding and, what we can do moving forward to grow our influence and positivity in this community.
So, I feel like too, man, just from a business standpoint, I know so many friends that have, organizations or lifestyle brands. And that's really, I mean, like, when you think about it, right, like, let's say you didn't have the merch and you didn't have the brand necessarily, and you just had the Fortnite trick shotting or whatever, and and let's say you still have your YouTube, right?
Yep.
What do you really own, right? Like, what is
intellectual property?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta. I love when people go, okay, we did this, we established ourselves. Now, how can we continue to move forward? There's nothing more upsetting to me to see something that's like really like thought out and like, okay, we did this and we got the viewers and we got the followers, and okay, here we are, and they just kind of hang out and like you know what I mean, and it's like eventually you got to like do something else, right? And so I love that, man, that you guys are trying to branch out into lifestyle, and I think it's the perfect brand, and like what I'm seeing right now is just unbelievable. Dude, I did not know your merch was that clean. Like now I'm thinking like, okay, I need to go. I need to check my bank account.
Yeah,
here,
I might
I'm about
cop one of these clean sweaters. You know?
Wow, you about to cop? Cause
I'm gonna buy one of these screens.
There's some clean sweaters.
Yeah, they're very. I don't have style. I wear like basketball shorts and a t-shirt every day. So I have a lot of people that I go through and like help with, this would be a good look. This wouldn't be a good look. So I'm very thankful for those people that I work with.
Dude, well, it just looks good, man. You just need to know that, bro. But is there like, I guess from your position, right? You don't ever want to. I guess that's a hard thing too. I'm trying to explain this. There's things that you can do as a leader to overstep, to like over pursue things, right? Like there's almost like maybe a too aggressive thing. So do you ever like find yourself in the position where you're sitting there? Because listen, bro, I've had so many things I feel like recently too, where I'm like, okay, like I want to do this for content and this for content and this for content, but you can't always show the whole basket. You can't always show what you got going on, and sometimes that can be really hard, I think, for inexperienced content creators that just want to push. But there's a part of this whole industry that I'm learning, bro, as I go, of like this like waiting game and this like making the viewer really miss you and really taking opportunities the right way and really spacing things out and creating a flow of your content. And I think that every big brand, we look at 100 Thieves, we look at FaZe, TSM, they do have merch and they do have content, but man, is their timing impeccable, is the things that they do, right? There's to me, the little things in big organizations is what really like sets those organizations over the top. So is there like any type of like little things that NorCal is really focused on and doing right that maybe the average viewer wouldn't think is like important, but you're like, oh, this is actually really, really important?
Sure. This is the biggest thing, and I can't stress it enough, and I'll give you examples, but community engagement. We were called an Instagram team when we started NorCal because that's the first social media platform we blew up on, right? We have 225,000 on Instagram. It's not as active anymore because most of our followers came from back then. Instagram's dying out with the emergence of TikTok and all that stuff. The biggest thing that I did starting the team, and I still do to this day, is I have responded to every single direct message I've gone on Instagram and given information and directed them to the right place, or like, hey, how can I join NorCal? Hey, here's a link. Feel free to watch this video. I'll give you all the information there. Every single message, and I get thousands a day. I spend at least an hour in the morning, an hour at night, and sometimes during the day, maybe chilling, watching TV or something, just responding to all the messages. I think it is so important that people have a purpose in your community, and having a purpose could literally just be messaging someone and saying, hey, thank you so much for following. Here's some information about our team. Like the littlest thing of just like being able to respond to people. That person is now not just like a follower because I saw one of their videos and then they're probably gone the next day. That person's like, oh, I actually mean something here. I mean something in this team. I want to be here. I stress with my members every single day how important it is to be interactive on Twitter. We have that NorCal RC hashtag directly because we want people to put it in their names and their Twitch streams and their titles, because we will type that in when we're bored and go to people's streams, go to their Twitters, interact with their posts, with their shots, with whatever it is. And I think that is really what made NorCal so big, is like, I can't sell these shirts to people unless they feel like there's meaning behind it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, our crew necks are, $30, $35. Well, you can probably go buy, maybe a cheaper one at your local store that you don't have to wait on, pay for shipping and all that, or whatever it is. But this one means something. It's because those people of that team helped me. They helped me through this. They helped me through that. They showed me positive ways. They showed me how to work hard. They put me around a better community. And I think that's what's so big and so different. And I can probably go on forever and do so many different kind of like the little things of how we react. Like, we haven't done one in a while, but we also have this day. We call it NorCal Day. We kind of got clowned in the community for it for a while just because it just sounds funny. But pretty much the day was all of my members it's a day of they can't focus on the team, they focus on the community. So they all stream and they all engage with community, they play with the community, they interact with the community, they help on Discord calls with the community. Cool. And it's literally just a full day of us interacting with as many people in our community as possible, answering questions, helping, giving the best advice. And I think we did that back then. And as much as we got made fun of it, the day after, everyone was saying that was probably the smartest thing we've seen a team do, is just like literally dedicate a whole day to be the best, influencing team and get out in the community and talk to people and help people. And I think that's, super important. I think a lot of teams out there that are find success are the ones that actually do engage with their community the most. So,
bro, because I feel like, and I don't know, man, maybe it's just me, but I feel like it's just true, is like, you don't really know your influence on somebody, man.
Sure.
And just in general, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't know the type of impact that you have on somebody's day.
Sure.
And so I think that is super important, and that is super cool, at least in my opinion. I think, I don't know why you would get clowned for that, but it's like one of those things where it's like, man, like, I'm absolutely 100,000,000% positive that had an impact on at least a couple people that day that were like, oh man, like, this is so sick. Yes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because there's got to be tons of people who separated throughout the 90 or whatever NorCal members, like, in each of their communities, that those people have other people that look up to them and that want to be in the position maybe that they're in or whatever, or maybe not even just that. It's just, hey, like, this is who I watch after school. This is who I watch after work. And without them, their day is like not the same. You know what I mean? And I don't think we put enough emphasis on streaming and content creation, on how important that is to be a part of somebody's day, man. Because listen, bro, like, I feel like, I don't know if you know this, Mitch. You probably don't, but I've been taking like a 2.5 month break from streaming, and I come back tomorrow. But I've been thinking a lot just about content creation and everything like that. And I'm telling you, man, like, it's crazy the amount of messages you get or things that you learn as you're going throughout the journey that you're like, oh, wait, like, none of this is just about me.
Sure.
This is actually about, like, other people. And so to me, an organization to truly say, hey, let's recognize our community. Like, these are the people that lift us up. You know what I'm saying? These are who's important to us.
Absolutely.
I think that's huge, man. And that can sound corny or whatever, but I think that's just true, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think that's just not only a great business decision, but I think just a great, I don't know, man, just genuine decision.
Yeah,
does that make sense? Like a genuine decision. Like, genuine, like, I don't know, man. I hope that you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, so just to, like, kind of go off that, I think I haven't really told anyone about this. I mean, people know about it, but, when I used to respond, I still respond to all my messages. I just did this more back then. I got so many messages that were like, you changed my life. I'm so much happier now. Thank you so much for everything, NorCal. Every single one of those messages, I'd actually screenshot and I save on my computer. So I have a whole folder just full of all the lives that we've actually inspired and stuff. And it wasn't like, if a person was just like, oh, you helped me so much, thanks. No, but the ones that, like, people wrote out and put meaning into it and put their heart into it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to mean something one day. Because if I'm ever demotivated, but I can go back and just see hundreds of pictures of just the people that'll
get you going, bro.
That's just responding to Instagram. Who knows how many people that I've helped through Twitter or through, or Twitch, my streams or my teammate streams or any of that. Like, it is truly incredible. And, sometimes you don't all see it. So when you can kind of put it, in a folder and get a visual of, like, I think that's what motivates me the most. People ask, where do you find your motivation every day? I literally tell them it's through other success. When I see other people succeeding, and it's because there's a platform I laid down, I have never been more motivated in my entire life just to see other people's success and be a part of their journey with them. So that's definitely huge.
Dude, I love you, bro. Hey, I love you, man. Like, you are just sold out on your community, man, and you're just completely invested into this thing you have going. What is, I guess, for me, the thought? I don't know, Mal, do you have questions, by the way? I don't know if you have questions.
No. I mean, to build off that one, though, I mean, it definitely is, like, just the little things, that, like, can make the most out of your day.
Yeah, sure.
Dude, and I just want to say this, though, too, is, like, it's really hard to repeat success. It's genuinely very hard. So when we get, these type of people on the podcast, I just want the listeners to understand that, like, man, like, this is tough. Like, this is really hard. Like, not everybody is just going out and creating an organization, and one that is blowing up. And I want my listeners, please go check these guys out, because this is genuinely, like, this, at least to me, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not too crazy into the Fortnite scene, but just from what I can stand from a lifestyle esports organization, you have unlimited potential, Mitch. Unlimited potential, man. And I hope that I get to see it come to fruition, because I just want to see you succeed, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But man, it looks good. Bro, talk to me about just video games in general, bro. What do you guys, listen, man, because you're in Fortnite. We talked a little bit about, I don't know if they'll see it, but we talked a little bit about the Call of Duty early days of NorCal.
Sure.
Is there like because I guess where I'm coming at from this conversation, I think as an individual, right? Because I'm a streamer, I'm not labeled to any team, so I think of it as an individual. So I can do whatever I want, really. I can bounce from game to game. I can be a variety streamer. I can do whatever, do these things. Are there really, like, do you guys sit down? You talk about you have 4 managers, you have a co-owner. Do you guys sit down and go, hey man, like, Fortnite sucks, so what do we do? You know what I mean? Like, you guys, like, are there really meeting plans to go, hey,
sure,
what's our next move? And obviously the lifestyle in the house is, we talked a little bit about what you're gonna do for the future, but just video games, is there like an ever, man, I'm trying to think of the right word, like, is there ever a sense of urgency with you guys? Because like, I think maybe a year ago, I think people were like, oh, it's probably pretty clear that Fortnite's not going to be around forever. And you know what I mean? And that's probably got a lot of people wild and crazy, because it gave so many people careers. It gave so many people opportunities. But of course, as life flows, we see Fall Guys, we see Among Us, we see Valorant, we see, we see all these different things giving other people careers. So is there ever a time where you guys sit down, you guys go, okay, let's game plan for games, for content, for that type of content at least?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the first thing is, number one rule of NorCal. Like I said, everyone that joins NorCal, before they even join our team, they have to go through a 10 to 15-minute talk with me beforehand. And I go through all of our rules and some liability waiver stuff and every single one. But it always comes down to our final rule of NorCal. I go through the 5 main rules. The 5th rule, most important one, and I mean this with all my heart, and you guys already kind of seen it a little bit, but I care about them more than I care about this team, which means their life has to come first. Their life priorities, which is school, work, friends, family, girlfriend, boyfriend, religion, exercise, whatever it is in their life that's important, that has to come first 100% of the time. So when you're sitting here and you're telling me, like, Fortnite might suck or this game might suck, I get in calls daily of people that are demotivated of the game, and I say, dude, take a week off, go play some other games, kind of get your brain refreshed, because at the end of the day, we're content creators. It shouldn't matter what game you play. It just matter how you're putting your personality into the games you play. So the one thing I haven't been too concerned about the fall of Fortnite or anything like that is, like, my team understands, like, it is okay if we're not having fun or we have to change it up a little bit. And that's kind of why, like, this is brand new. No one really knows about this, but we are about to release our Call of Duty a new chapter montage, because we had a lot of people on the team that were sick of Fortnite and they went to COD and they hit some bangers.
Breaking news on the Aim High podcast. We got a leak. Oh my
So you guys are going to see that soon. And I won't lie. Like, I've seen a lot of Call of Duty edits in the community stuff, and I will say I do really, really, really with all my heart believe that this is going to be a very highly recognized, holy these guys just pumped, this dude. Fortnite team just produced an insane Call of Duty montage. I got one of the a very, 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 very good editor on this, a Call of Duty editor, and in a lot of our clips. So we knew standards just because he actually lives he's upstairs right now. He was the previous lead Call of Duty player for Obey. So he knows all about Call of Duty and stuff. He's ready to get to it, and he played it. So again, like I said, I'm not really worried about the game because I have content creators. I don't care what game you give me. They're going to make content, I promise. And you know what I mean? It's my job, to take what they can make and maybe, an editor make it look good or, whatever it is. So I've never worried. I've never sat down with my team, said, oh, Fortnite's about to fail. What's the next thing? Because whatever the next thing is, my team's ready. Dude, we know we're content creators. It's like, yeah.
I want to run through a wall right now for Mitch, dude. I love the way you said, hey, it just felt like you just said, hey, listen, whatever's coming over the horizon, I got my guys. I got my guys with me. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in those guys.
Sure.
Dude, before we move on past, because we're probably I'm not, hey, anyone listening to NorCal for the NorCal, we're probably gonna move on here to some crazier topics. But
sure.
Hey, there's probably some NorCal recruits out here hanging out, watching the owner Mitch.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Mitch, give him some advice, man. How can they, make that dream a reality sooner rather than later to join NorCal? What would you advice from the main man, the CEO?
Yeah. Okay, so the biggest thing is I listen to my members, and if you're like directly trying to become a friend with me, that's great, but I just have so much on my plate, it's hard. So my biggest thing is like go into our community, do your research, find out people that make similar content with you and hang around their streams. Talk to them. Don't beg for anything. Don't ask them to watch stuff. Become friends with our members. Get to see what they're doing. Kind of catch on to those vibes and really do your best just to become friends and be helpful. And you're going to have to make sacrifices. Maybe you want to play Call of Duty one night or Fortnite one night, but instead, I'm just going to actually sit by this stream for 30 minutes just to see how he's doing, check in with them. And I think that's the biggest thing. Now, past that, once you become friends and established, the second thing is, who are you as a person? I don't care about your followers or numbers yet. I'm still seeing, are you positive? Are you supporting people? When we post a montage or a tweet, are you one that comments like, hey, I love what you're doing, keep up the good work? Or do you just like it? Or maybe that, something came up or you commented and didn't say the nicest thing. We see everything. We do our research, I promise. And our guys know and see this and this and this. So every little thing is going to be important. And then the last thing, guys, is making the content. And the biggest thing that I can say about making content is put your personality behind your content. Whether you're screaming and raging, whether you're smiling in front of Facecam, whether you have a great voice, whatever that is that you do that's really well, do it and do it a lot. And I've watched a million Fortnite clips and montages. I've seen every shot. I've seen the best players in the world. I don't care about Fortnite clips anymore. I don't care about what are you putting behind your clips that makes it different, what makes it stand out. And like, a great example is we just recruited someone named Coco for actually one of our development teams. And what he does is he can play the guitar really well. So he goes into Fortnite games and he goes, hey, do you know this song? They say, yeah. And then he'll just crank his guitar and start going crazy. And it's so fun to watch because he's good as hell at guitar. He puts that into his content. That's what makes him him.
That's sick,
so that's my third thing is like, whatever you do well, whatever makes you different, whatever makes you stand out, do that. Do it a lot. Be unique, be different. And the biggest thing by far is overseeing everything. By far, guys, please, you have to be having fun. This is not worth it if you are not having fun. If you are forcing yourself to grind this team and being, I'm going to stay up all night because it'll matter to NorCal, but it's hurting you mentally, it is not worth it. I promise.
Yeah.
If you're ready for this opportunity, it will be because you're having fun, you're producing content, you're loving what you're doing. Then your time will come. The biggest thing, like I said, is if you're doing this because you feel like it's a job and you have to do this, I promise it's probably not going to be the best situation for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say to that is #sign be right back. My cat is on fire. Now here we go. Mitch,
Brad,
are you a drinker? Are you a partier? What are you into, my guy?
That's a great question, man. Okay, so I've never done a drug in my entire life. I've always been a highly athletic, never smoked, never jeweled, vaped, anything like that. However, after high school, let me think. Yeah, so when you get to college, obviously you're with a football team and stuff. I couldn't just go and not. So
yeah.
There just came a time where it was like, hey, you're with your dad, you have a few drinks. And yeah, I became a very big beer drinker with my dad when the time came.
Yeah.
And then the biggest thing was during COVID and stuff, I spent a lot of time with my mom at home going on hikes and losing weight. And she likes to drink wine. So I started drinking wine with her and stuff. So now I became a wine drinker too. So
wine is actually good.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. I said that and like people are like, oh, Aim's about to go into a wine. I don't know anything about wine. I have no idea, dude. But what I'm going to say though is that like, I think I'm Cabernet. Is that
Cab?
Is that Cab? Is that something? I think it's like red. That's like dark red, right?
Yeah.
That's thick red. I think I like that. I'm not really too big on whites.
Sure, I'm with you.
What's your go-to here?
Yeah, what's funny is that my sister, I have a twin sister, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Twin sister.
Twin sister,
like,
man.
Like, are we talking like dead ass? Like you guys like came out of the womb at the same time?
Same time, man. I'm 5 minutes older. We are the best friends.
Dude.
We do everything together. I love each other to death. We've never been in fights. Like we care about each other. Like I miss her every single day. She actually lives in Australia.
Can you like?
Sure.
Do you know what she's thinking? Is that a thing?
I get that question a lot, and you know what? Very rarely have we had that moment, but I will say 100%. There's been a few times where it's like, what are you thinking? Oh, and we say like the words at the same time, and we say, yeah, we're definitely twins. So it happens, but I will say it's not like everyone's like twin telepathy. You'll definitely know exactly. Anyways, she actually likes Pinot Noir, so that's what I kind of started trying with her. So Pinot Noir was it. And now, yeah, I think Pinot's a little bit on the lighter side. You know, Cab is a little bit heavier. But again, the reason I started drinking wine with my mom is because they had it when we had steaks for dinner. Apparently, red wine goes with steaks.
Dude, yeah.
And that they like Cab, so I had Cab, and my sister wanted me to try Pinot, and so yes.
Dude, wine is. It's okay. Here's the thing. I've drank too much, and I'll tell you, wine. If you drink too much, massive headache. But if you're just, if you're sipping on it, I don't really like to. That's what I'll say. I don't like to get drunk off wine.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm getting drunk, throw me some rum.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm mixing some girly shit in with the blue. It's looking blue, pinkish. You know what I mean? And I'm just down and I'm just I'm just chugging.
Sure.
But no, yeah, dude. Food pairing and wine. That's the crazy thing about wine. Wine has its own it's kind of like coffee in a way. Like it has its own how coffee kind of has its own culture almost.
Sure. Oh yeah.
I feel like wine is very much like that because they get to pair it with foods and this and that, and there's all certain
wine tasting was the stupidest thing until I liked wine. Now it's the coolest.
Dude, wine tasting is actually goated because you just pay like a flat fee and then just get. I just said I don't get drunk off wine, but you just go and get drunk off wine for a wine tasting.
Sure.
But
yeah,
man. Did you say your sister lives in Australia?
I do, man. It's a tough topic because I miss her every day. But
dude, I just gotta say, on that. I saw a Twitter post of I don't know if you guys saw it because it was kind of blowing up I'm talking a giant, a whopping spider. I'm talking this motherfucker was like
on the wall, right?
Yes, on the wall. Shelob looking mother. Like I would have called Frodo, Sam, all of them. I would have said, get the Fellowship of the Ring to my house now because this thing is huge, bro.
Yeah.
Did your sister ever send you pics of like spiders?
She lives in a city, so you actually don't see as many spiders. I did when
say word. Are you serious? Because that's the only thing turning me off from. I want to visit Australia, but I'm very scared of spiders.
No, I when I went, I was there for 2 weeks. I only saw one spider in one bush, and it was small. Like that's it. I didn't see another spider the whole time. But if you get a little bit more into the outback, I'm sure it's a lot more, plentiful with spiders. But where she was in Melbourne, it was like one of the most beautiful, fastest growing cities I've ever been a part of. And I'm really happy and proud that she picked there and she's living her life there. She met a boyfriend when she studied abroad in New Zealand. And then that's where they picked. They did have plans to come back here and stuff, but then when COVID hit, kind of kept them locked down there. They haven't really been able to travel. So they have been there a little bit longer. But, when I got to visit and stuff, I can totally see why that she chose that. Now that's where she is. And then I moved to Texas. So, parents went from, having both their kids to now they have nobody. So.
Oh man, dude, Sag in the chat for the parents.
Yep.
Dude, what is just like a day in the life too? I mean, I know that you talked about schedule. You wake up, you go work out.
Yep.
Is it like because here's the thing, man. I'm somebody that when I'm working on stuff, I'm not very structured.
Sure.
And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I work better when I'm just kind of like, oh, I guess I'll work on this. And then really when ideas start to hit me almost at an ADHD level is when I feel like I'm like, okay, now I'm, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like starting to write shit down and my mind is going 1,000 miles an hour. That's when I at least, and everybody's different, I feel the most productive. What's your work schedule like as far as like, what gets you in the zone? Are you out here fucking... Mitch, do you got some herbs in the back, like candles going? What do you do, man?
Okay, so I'm pretty. I don't really do anything special to get in the zone. I will say, when you wake up and you get in a rhythm, getting to the gym. I start the gym off with 10 minutes usually on the bike, and those 10 minutes I spend that time doing those Instagram messaging, seeing how much work I have planned for the day, going through what has been sent. After I get home, I usually have an hour or two before, usually I stream 4 to 5 times a week and I have that time so I'll have an hour or two trying to get whatever I can get done. Before that stream, I'll have that stream. After that stream, I'll have my one meal for the day, cook up something big, usually rice, eggs, ground beef, something, just typical living at a house your first time, trying to save money meal. And then after that, it's kind of like, it's my night, whatever I need to do. Now the off days I do spend all day just sitting here on emails, on business calls. But usually the calls come in more towards the night just because with work and with school and everyone, it's just definitely more of a, people have more time at night. So usually at night after I eat and stuff, when I get back in my room, it is just business calls. And the biggest thing I do is pretty much, I have 100 members on my roster. I would say on average, I check in with every single member every other week at the minimum. I check in with all my members. I just have a natural timer on my head that says this, 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 and this. I will say the one thing that's when I'm ready to have my off day, and part of the grind is having an off day. It is okay to take breaks. Everyone thinks that you have to grind 24/7, grind don't stop. No, part of the grind is taking a break. Yeah. But I will say, getting the master bedroom here, it came with a very big tub of jets, and I will say my day off is spent putting that bubble bath on and relaxing as much as I can. Now I have a
say less.
So I have a 20-something foot HDMI cable that goes from my computer back to my bathroom. So I even put a monitor in there sometimes and put on a movie or something
and just kick it.
Drink my Cabernet and watch a movie or something.
Hey, that's some big boss type shit. I love that, Mitch.
Yeah, that's my relax period. But in terms of motivation, dude, whenever I feel demotivated, like I said, I have folders of the people I've inspired, or every once in a while I get a message from one of my members that just says Mitch, you've changed my life, anything like that. I don't know if you know, today obviously Phase 5 came out with the top, they had top 100 and they came out with the top 20 today. So we had four members.
Yeah, did your guys' biggest guy. What
we have four. So we have Red Vines, Parallel Kai, or NorCal Kai, I guess. Machi,
Kai's the guy that I've heard of.
Yeah. So Kai's right there. Anyways, so they all actually didn't make it today, which again, it kind of hurt our heart. It's unfortunate.
That's bummer, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it sucked. It was a cool moment for them getting in the top 100. But I will say, seeing their responses, how professional, saying, I just appreciated the journey. I learned so much. I'm only going to work harder now. That's what makes me work. Okay, hey, I'm here for you guys. Let's get cranking. I got content ideas out. I'm ready. Because that kind of held us back a little bit to a point where I wasn't having them come and doing all this stuff with NorCal because they were focusing on their own Phase 5 grind, which is completely acceptable, and I wanted them to do that.
Yeah.
But a couple of those guys, seeing their responses today of just how genuine they are and how much of a platform I've given them and how they're just honored to be still part of this team, even if they didn't make it. 100%. That's what motivates me. Seeing others ready to do this with me is damn, I'm in. I'm all in. I don't need any, special medicines or herbs or candle lightnings or anything, man. I'm all natural. Like I said, my success comes from others' success. So yeah.
And that's what gets you pumped, and it's very evident about that, which, hey, if they're watching this podcast, they should feel pretty fortunate to have a guy like you in their corner, man. That's pretty insane. Yeah, that is a bummer. I just looked. I forgot about it because I was doing the AMP shoot, so I knew that they were releasing it today, and I forgot about it. And I didn't. The only name I saw in there that I recognized was Scope. So congratulations to Scope. Bummer for the 4 NorCal guys. Bummer for Kamikaze. Bummer for Bailey Goat. But it's more motivation, I feel like, to kind of go through that process and even get to where they got in the top 100 is insane.
Yeah. Yep.
Is insane, bro. So listen, from the bottom of my heart, tell those guys that's very impressive.
Absolutely.
And to obviously keep going with their grind.
Sure.
Dude, you have a lot of guests out there in Texas. What's going on, man? Are me and Mal flying out there play some golf with you guys? What's going on?
Whatever you want, man. You just let me know. No, one of the biggest things with the house is hey, I have a house, and I think you guys know this. Part of your dream as a content creator is you meet some of the best, amazing people online, but you never get the chance to beat those people.
Yeah.
So with the house like this, I was it would be wrong of me not to use this as a platform to help connect people and meet new people and make content and expand. That's the whole point of getting this house was yes, I love living here. Yes, the guys here makes easy content, but again, I'm going to use this to the best of my ability. So it is still our house. We still do take these weekends off, but we usually plan in advance. We say, okay, this weekend. So we have people coming next weekend too. So that's 3 straight weekends of just hosting multiple NorCal members. Again, learning what we're about, building that family. It's so important. It keeps someone so much more confident in a team when they can see the house and see the people, meet the people behind these screens that talk and tell them so much. I could sit here all day and look in front of a camera and say positivity, but who knows? Maybe I'm just an asshole in person. You know what I mean? Dude. So being able to come and see it for yourself, it's just that much more inspiring and hardworking. And, again, hats off to all these people in the house because they're the same way. They love when people come over interacting and, doing their best to be the best host that we can. And again, just, I wish I could tell you how many DMs I get. It's not even, can I join NorCal? It's, can I come live at the house? it's a dream, right? Like everyone's
hey, can I go live at the house? And you're like, yeah, sure, come on.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Tim, he's off the street. He DM me. He's coming to live here. We're, you know.
Pretty much. But anyways, again, it's that's how much of a dream it is for so many people. And so many people say like, Mitch, you're living a dream, you're doing it. It's like, yeah, for like, half of it I'm doing it. I got the house. But now the next half of it, I promise you, is like connecting more people and inspiring more people to hopefully do this one day, because it really is an honor.
Dude, that's the exciting thing. Just before I go off into a little tangent here, because I think I have an idea for the rest of this pod. But for you, man, it's just like, that is to me like, when you want to be able to say, dude, I totally forgot what I was about to say right now.
Okay.
And I think what it was just like, nah, it's gone. I lost it, guys. I'm sorry.
I did that earlier.
I actually did lose it. And that doesn't happen very often, but I really did just lose it. It's been a long day, so we'll say that.
So good.
But for the next part of this pod, would you be interested in if we put out either maybe a quick, I don't know if you could retweet something on Twitter where we could do like a Q&A maybe with your fans, or if we did like a poll or something, maybe an interactive to see what's going on.
Sure.
I think that would be always cool. We did a Q&A with Agent last podcast, and that was pretty funny to see some of the people that they had questions about his hair routine, or like, I think there was a question about pineapple. Are you a pineapple on pizza guy?
Yes.
Dude, I love this guy, Mal.
Dude, yeah, you guys are gonna be best friends, dude.
Let's go, baby.
For the pineapple pizza.
It's savory and sweet. I just don't understand how people can't like it.
That's good. Yeah.
It's good, man. Are you a big foodie?
Oh yeah. Oh man. I will say pizza, not like, it's good. It's not my favorite, but my go-to, it's more than food for me. I don't know why, but sushi, all you can eat sushi. I had a place next to my college that was all you can eat sushi, and that was like my escape from college and stress and finals and stuff, would be all you can eat sushi every single week, once a week, to this place where it was so bad. Like, it was my 21st birthday, right? 21st, big birthday. Parents came down, took my sister. She actually went to UCLA. I went to Claremont McKenna, which is both in LA. They took my sister to Universal Studios and spent all this money. And they're like, all right, Mitch, what do you want? And I said, for the next like 20 weeks, I want you to pay for one sushi meal a week. Like, that's all I want. And just get my sushi paid for. So I had sushi paid for once. That was my birthday gift. And it was the best investment of my entire life. Like, having sushi and just getting my mind off of everything once a week. And I'd always go with friends. And I had such good friend groups in college. And yeah, I could sit there and eat so much sushi. It's so bad.
Dude.
That's my food.
I love sushi. And every time I say this particular sushi, everyone goes, that's not sushi. But I like a shrimp tempura roll.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that with whatever the normal, I guess it's like an orange type of sauce.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just, when I eat that, I'm like, yes. I had a friend one time, dude. I'm not even kidding. dude, we went to go eat. He had never had sushi before, and I was like, oh, dude, you're going to love it. And we're sitting there eating sushi, and I don't remember what was going on. I think I was just like so zoned into the fact that I was eating sushi, which is like, I'm former military, so like I don't know, when I eat very quickly, and I just like, I'm like focused on my food, because like boot camp is like you get like 5 minutes to eat, so you're just like food, and like this has never left my brain. I just see food and I eat it, devour it, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go, So I think I was just zoned in. Sure. I look up at my friend sweating profusely.
Oh
and
no!
I think you know where this is going.
Yep.
And he looks at me and he goes, "Hey man, this is kind of spicy." And I was like, "What?" And I'm pretty sure he got like a California roll, you know what I mean? Like, so I was like, "No, dude, like that would not." And he goes, "No. Is this part right here spicy?" I'm like, "No, dude, nothing in the sushi is gonna be spicy." And he goes, "Well, what about I had this little thing over here. I just plopped it on this," and I was like, "What? Like, what are you talking? You're talking about wasabi?" And he goes, I don't know, it was green. Yep. And I was like, did you put the whole thing? He goes, yeah, I just put the whole thing on it. And I was like, bro.
Yeah, that will be hot, bro.
I explained to him what it was, and he quickly realized while he was sweating and why it was hot. I was like, dude, you ever have anything like that happen to you or happen to anybody?
Yeah. Yeah, of course, the classic. Oh, this is guacamole. Have it, and it's wasabi. I mean, we've seen it all. But I was actually at sushi last weekend with the people that were over here. One of them is Machi, who was part of that Phase 5, really big name trick shotter, awesome, amazing person as well. He said a couple pretty funny things. It was his first time at sushi. We got calamari rings for him because we're just trying to get him to try new things. And
calamari is so good.
Yeah, amazing, right? He ate it, and we get him more. Got him a second one and stuff. I don't know what came up, and someone just mentioned onion rings, and he was like, these aren't onion rings. So he's like, no, that's calamari, dude. He's like, I swear it looks the same. It's like, well, it's called calamari. He said he legitimately thought he was eating onion rings the whole time, and I'm like, do you not feel the chewy and stuff? He's like, oh, I just thought it was like a fresh onion or something, right? And,
what?
Yeah, he was eating onion rings the whole time.
A fresh onion?
Yeah, I don't know. He just genuinely thought that calamari rings and onion rings are the same. So, yeah, it's all good.
Dude, that's tough. Yo, I'm going to tweet this out. We got any questions for the main man, NorCal Mitch, Q&A in the podcast? Spam up questions. Tweeted it, dude.
Sure.
We'll see. We'll see what we get, man. We'll see if we get some questions for you there.
Poppin', we'll do that. If not, I'll send that retweet and we'll get it going.
We'll see what we got, bro. Dude, quick question, and this is what I'll say. Are you, obviously I feel like media, entertainment, we're talking about playing video games, but are you into any other types of medias like movies or, TV shows, cartoons, anime? What are you into?
I'm going to be 100% completely honest, dude. How my personality works is I always have to be doing something that it's like working for something. Like even in video games, as much as you sit back and play, you're still competitive yourself. I cannot sit down and watch movies. I mean, I can do movies to an extent, but I don't enjoy it that much. I have never watched a TV series in my life. I've never watched anime in my life. I always have to be doing something. And I actually watched a couple movies last night. I just bought the whole house, a nice 65-inch 4K TV.
Hey.
So I was like using that as best of my ability. I was trying to, guys, let's all watch movies and stuff. Anyways, yeah, I don't do any of that. My free time, I'm responding to DMs on Instagram. Like that is my free time. I like just chilling and interacting with the community. Like that is what I do. But yeah, I guess just playing video games is the only thing I'll really do.
So you haven't seen Game of Thrones?
Never seen Game of Thrones.
You
did make a Lord of the Ring reference earlier that I kind of got, but not really.
Dude, you haven't seen Lord of the Rings?
I haven't seen Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter's. It's bad. I know. I haven't even played Minecraft. That's the one that usually gets most people.
I don't just care about Minecraft, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like very offended right now that you haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Dude, Lord of the Rings is like maybe my favorite film of all time. Like films, I guess. I don't know. They're trilogies, so maybe that doesn't count as a film, but that film trilogy, I guess, and I don't know, man. Just cool. But hey, if that's not your personality, it's not your personality. What about music? Are you a music guy? I mean, you have to be a music guy because you go to the gym, dude. There's no way you're pumping iron to nothing. I'll call you a straight robot if you tell me that you pump iron to nothing.
Yeah, so I'm not a robot, but the music
comes. He goes,
oh god, dude.
He doesn't.
I do have headphones in. I do try. It's not the biggest thing, but I will say, the music I listen to is, I like slower music. I like more heartfelt music. I like, I'm not, country is good. I'm not.
You're talking to a big Taylor Swift fan right now.
Okay. Yeah, T Swift. Yeah, she got some good songs. I don't listen to too much of her, but anyways, like everyone thinks, you go and you listen to your death metal and you pump iron and stuff. That's not me. Like I'll just, whatever comes on my playlist or I put it on shuffle, like that's just what happens. So, but I do listen to music. It's not like, the biggest thing in the world. Let me go ahead and try to find this tweet for you.
Yeah. Send that ablaze, brother.
Yep.
Dude, okay. What, like, you have a most played? Like one that you're I listen to this one all the time. Like that? Like.
So we do have one. Yeah, this one actually has a lot of meaning for me. So, okay, I just gave it that retweet. So I heard this song in the car as a freshman in school. My friend was driving me back from a high school basketball game versus Chino Hills, Lonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball, Angelo Ball. We just lived near them. So the biggest thing was when I heard this song, it was just one of those like long drives home and it was super dark and, no one's really talking in the car, but you're just listening. And it was One Man Can Change the World by Big Sean. Yeah. And I just listened to the lyrics and it was just all about like, all I wanted was all this money, and fame. And then I realized like, it's not about that and stuff. And it talks a lot about his grandma who had passed away. But the main thing the chorus is, one man can change the world. One man can change the world. And so my rule is whenever that song comes on, like no matter what, I am not allowed to skip it. I can be in the middle of, you know, the hardest, biggest, most heaviest set for personal records in my life. But if that song comes on, I'm not like that. That is my song. That is something that I want to listen to every single time. Remind myself, like, I'm going to keep working as hard as I can because I know that one man can change the world one day. So yeah, that is my song. That's my go-to. It's my favorite song. So yeah,
what's your? I'm just like firing questions at you rapid fire here. What's your biggest fear?
You really want to know?
Yes, I do.
That's a great question. People get a little bit like confused when I say this, but I think it's reasonable to me at least. My biggest fear is death. Like I'm scared that I'll die. I didn't help change the world as much as I wanted to. I didn't inspire as many people. Like I just know I'm so ready to help so many people and stuff. And so when I say I'm scared of death, people are like, well, what does that mean? It's like, you know, when I'm driving the car, like I'm going the speed limit. I'm not taking risks. I'm not putting my life in danger. I'm afraid to die without all this, like, you know, this time and stuff. And, you know, yeah, of course I'm, you know, going on roller coasters and, you know, I still do that. So it's not like I'm like terrified of stuff, but, you know, I generally am terrified of drugs because I feel like I can make one bad mistake if I do it. And I like, that's my biggest fear. I don't want to die early when I know I just have so many people to help and so much, you know, positivity to spread and stuff. So that's like the biggest thing, I think.
So no drugs ever?
Never, dude.
You're not even like weed?
No, never been high before. Not my entire life. That's a big one. Everyone always asks stuff. Like,
I'm aim high. I don't know if you know that. You know what I mean? Like that. So
it all makes sense now. No.
Yeah, it's all coming together. No, yep. But you know, that's not something that I've never been like. Cause to be honest with you, man, I was raised in a very like conservative Christian home. Cause I'm from Kansas. So sure. Like, you know, we're literally right above Texas. We're in, you know, kind of like the Bible Belt Midwest type of, you know, area, and much the same, you know, sports and other things as well. I had a pretty big musical band at the time in high school that I was really concentrated on. So I just felt like I didn't have time for, you know, drinking and drugs or whatever. I just was committed to other things.
Sure, absolutely.
Like you said, something happened to me called college. I guess it probably happens for most people. But then it really even wasn't like that. Like I tried smoking weed, like, I don't know, maybe like once or twice. I had a girlfriend that was like super into partying, and I would go out with her and like drink and do that. But she would, you know, she would occasionally, she'd be like, come on, let's smoke. And I'd be like, okay, like I'll one or two times. And I really wasn't that into it at first, to be honest with you. It wasn't until I got out of the Navy, went back and worked a nuclear power plant security job, and then decided, you know what, I don't want to do kind of the old cliche story of like, you know, I don't want to do like and it wasn't a 9 to 5, but to me, it like a creative person, it felt like I was just like locked into this like weird job I didn't want to be in, right?
Sure.
So I went out to Washington again, and that's probably around, I'll paint that picture, 2016-ish, 2017. And by that time, weed was legal there. So sure. It was like genuinely like I walked in, I think my second or third day in Seattle, I'm like walking down the street to go to class because I was going to school for filmmaking.
Sure. Yep.
And I just see this like, you know, this weed store. And I'm like, what? And I didn't really know what was going on, so I just walked in, dude. I walk in, and I've never seen anything like this in my life, bro. I mean, they had like 40 different strands of weed. They had edibles from edibles that like you suck on, to edibles that you eat that are like gummy bears, to like a ton of different things. And I'm like, what is going on? And, you know, all these different things. And I was like, yo, what? And I kind of got sucked into weed, and now I kind of love it because I use it for, you know, anxiety relief and muscle relaxation and to sleep a little bit. But it's interesting to me, you know, how, you know, people kind of avoid it, especially if they have something that they're like, okay, this, well, like, for instance, I know a guy, he isn't really, like, opposed to, like, weed. It's just, like, he feels like he has an addictive personality that if he ever really did do it, like, and he liked it, he would, like, kind of fear what that might do to him. And it sounds like for you, it's more just kind of like, hey, like, yeah, maybe it has some stuff to do with the death thing, but also it just feels like your work is just so much more important to you than that stuff.
Yeah, I think two things is one is I don't think I've ever been in a position in my life where I'm like, man, I need to get out of, you know, my mental state where I need this might help. I just never felt like that would like, that's what like would say, hey, this is why I want to do it. But another thing is I love being a role model. I just, for some reason, I just like being the guy that looked up to, the guy that's trying to lead the way. And for some reason, like something about my character tells me like if I ever like said yes, or like I'm afraid of that one mistake, right? Smoking weed isn't bad, but you do that one mistake where you get maybe in a crash driving, but oh my god, it was he was high too, and all of a sudden now everything you worked for, even though you only did it once, like it can just make you look so bad. So that's another fear I have. Like, I just feel like, that one bad time that can label you like, oh my God, he did that drug or whatever. I just feel like as a, role model in this kind of community, I don't know, just my personal,
yeah,
beliefs. I just say no. I move on. It's not, obviously there's that like 6 months to a year of like going through that high school that everyone starts doing it and trying it and you get offered a million times. But once I knew who I was, and I just would say no and move on, and like
which is
just
powerful in its own self to me. To like be like, to me, it takes a lot more guts. People talk about peer pressure or whatever, like, bro, it takes a lot more guts for somebody to know who they are and be like, nah, I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? And just be cool with it. Cool. Mal, can you go to Twitter? And I think we got questions revved up for Mitch there. Last question I'm going to ask you before I'm going to let Mal take over here to ask some questions for you, Mitch. And this is just one guy looking at another stud across from the camera. And I'm wondering how many tackles, what's the highest number of tackles you had in a game, brother? Because I feel like I'm looking at Patrick Queen. I'm looking at Patrick Willis. I'm looking at Ray Lewis. This guy was probably all over the field, sideline to sideline, making tackles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So I had 23 in a high school game, college game, probably maybe 15, 14, 16. I would say though, I did finish the year off my senior year as the leading tackler. I was a 4-year starter, 2-time first team all league. I was the MVP of the whole league.
Let's go, man.
So I did have a very successful career. I had a bunch of awards. I had a lot of academic awards as well. I definitely worked hard in school. So yeah, I ended up having a really successful football career there. And like I said, I was kind of like a coach and stuff. And I go back and everything. Like if I could tell you right now, Mitch, everything you do in life, whatever I do next in life, or if it's this for the rest of my career, right? The number one thing I did in college that helped me prepare for this was football. Like, yes, those classes taught you stuff, but football held you accountable, time management. I worked hard, how to lead, all that stuff. I use that every single day. So football is definitely one of the biggest parts of my life.
Dude, isn't it incredible what sports can do for somebody?
Yes. Holy.
I just like, dude, when people like are like, I'm not going to let my kid play sports. I'm like, what? Like, why? Dude, why, bro? Like, sports is so influential in like creating my competitive drive, creating so many people around me's competitive drive, and also not even just that competitive drive, but learning life lessons about how to be responsible or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things that I learned in sports. I was like, oh shit. Like later in life, I'm like, oh, I learned that when I was getting my ass kicked in practice. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird, man. Mal, what do we got for Mitch? We got any questions?
So,
I'm going to let you go through them. I'm going to let you pick them. So
of course.
Pick wisely.
I've got this. Yeah. Well, obviously, I'm going to, pick the ones that I think are good. But there's a question from Chardog, actually. We love Char. Shout out to Chardog. Are there any upcoming video games you're excited for? If so, which ones?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, I'm excited about Call of Duty. Obviously, that's still new. It already did come out. One of our managers is extremely into Halo, so hopefully some sort of Halo content can come.
Let's get together.
Yeah, exactly right. The one thing I would say, I don't know what video game it's going to be, but there was something so special that Fortnite came out with as a battle royale, being able to communicate and work, and obviously with that building and stuff being so unique and different. And there's what Fortnite did was it allowed you the ability to practice and pretty much improve your craft every single time. There's only so good you get in Call of Duty where you just don't get that much better, but in Fortnite you can always get better at certain things. So I'm just waiting for the next game to really engage people where you have to talk and you have to practice and you come up with events. And as much as Valorant came out and you can still practice and get better, like to me it's a highly competitive game, which is great. That's CSGOs, that's your Overwatches, but Fortnite is a content game. Like for most of the game, you're kind of just picking up max up, but you're talking to your chat. And and you can do so many different things. You can trick shot, you can do this. So I'm waiting for the next game that can do that. It's come out and it can be, something that you're always getting better at, but there's so much content. And I think a battle royale is very big. So I'm waiting for the next big battle royale. That's a big one.
Okay, and we have another question here. It's have you ever thought about ending NorCal? If so, what told you not to end it?
Yeah, crazy story. Okay, so I actually started NorCal off. This NorCal that you guys know in 2018, May of 2018. That's when I say like it was established. But little do people know, like I had NorCal before that actually for probably like half a year to a year. I kind of forgot. We had 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. We were the first trickshot team in Fortnite. We came from Call of Duty and stuff. We had 500 followers on Instagram. Like we were very small, but we had 5,000 on YouTube. We were a YouTube team at first. Just randomly, my channel got taken down on YouTube, and I was like, "That's it. Like I'm done. I quit. I don't want to have to try to rebuild to get 5,000 followers again." We had a good team going and stuff, but I was really demotivated, and of course, through my head was, do I really want to try to restart another channel and stuff? And I think the biggest thing is I sent a message to my team and I said, "Listen, guys, our YouTube's taken down. I'm really demotivated right now. I'm probably gonna restart this, but I'm just gonna think about it for a couple days." And every single person said, "Mitch, we're sticking with you. We're doing this with you. We want NorCal back. This is like, in our hearts and stuff." And so I decided to restart the YouTube channel. I actually focused on Instagram at that point, started investing in Instagram, and then our Instagram blew up. So that's why we're known as an Instagram team, because I actually invested in that while our YouTube had to regrow. But we were YouTube first. But anyways, after that, not once, not a single time have I ever thought that this wasn't going to be my career in future, simply due to how much influence and how many people were helping. It would be just stupid of me to give up on my dream. So yes, there's the story.
I love that.
Okay, and there's another question. What were your expectations when making NorCal?
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, another whole story about who I started with. His name is Nate Switzer. He's still part of the team, my co-founder. He was really good at Call of Duty. He was really good. So when I started, my expectations was I literally just wanted to provide a platform to help him to get to a bigger team. That's it. Like I just wanted to help him achieve his dreams. But as I started going and realizing like, hey, I actually like this. Like I want to help more people. Got more people on board. That's how NorCal started. Just people that I wanted to get to the next step. So my original goal of NorCal was like a foundation that people can achieve their dreams. I don't care if it's in NorCal. I don't care if it's getting as many followers as they can to get to the next team. I don't care what it is. But to this day, it has not changed. I just want to give a best foundation. I get in so many calls with people that aren't even on the team, but they still want my advice because I can tell them, "Oh yeah, that's a great thing. You should do this." So I guess that was my expectation when I started. Is like I literally didn't care about fame, clout, anything. I just wanted to build the best foundation possible to help people out. And that was my expectation. I had no idea we would get this big, but I'm not surprised. Like I like to work hard, and I know that at some point you put in enough time where things do start working out. As long as you're doing this for the right reason. If you're doing this for followers and fame and clout, you'll eventually fall off, because once you get there and you realize that that's not what's bringing you happiness in life, but everyone thinks, then that's when you go, "Oh shit." So
I'm not surprised either, my friend. Talking to you in an hour and a half, man, it's very clear.
Yep.
What else we got?
That's gonna wrap up the question portion.
Question portion, okay. All right. Well, hey, those are good questions. Shout out to those people for asking some questions. Listen, Mitch.
I got a question too.
Yeah. Okay. You got a question? Okay.
I got a question for you.
Whoa,
bro.
Whoa. Okay. Hit me with it, baby.
So you mentioned Navy.
Yeah.
I want to know your decision, how it helped you, benefited you, what made you. I'm assuming you're not part of the Navy anymore. You're not active.
No,
or?
Not active anymore. No.
So I don't know if you wanted to. No, I'm just gonna look down here real quick. So I actually have a challenge token given to me. That has a crazy story behind it, and this again is something that sits with me for a long time. So I'll tell you this story, but I want to hear your story real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to know why, like the whole reason I went into the Navy and stuff?
As simplified as possible. Yeah, just like
okay.
I have the utmost respect to people that put me in a position to do what I love. I only have the freedom because people are willing to sacrifice, who they are to protect us. So I when you mentioned that, of course I was like, that I want to know about it. Why did you sacrifice?
Sure, dude.
To protect us?
To be honest with you, super selfish decision. I think what happened was, I really wanted to pursue college football. I really wanted to pursue playing sports at a higher level, and I got into a situation where my grades did not really reflect my opportunity to do that. So I kind of was in this situation where I kind of had to either choose to go, okay, hey, Dad, I am kind of not able to play football anymore because my grades are bad. Or I could tell my dad, I decided to join the Navy and leave college and serve the country. Aren't you proud of me? And that's kind of what happened. Hindsight, and now my dad knows that that's the story. And of course, like, dude, I just got done spending a weekend with my dad in Memphis, and I fucking love my dad. Can't stress that enough. But it's just like, man, like, of course you get a dad. He's like, oh man, like, you should have just told me, you know, we would have figured it out. You know, you didn't have to do all these things. But to be honest with you, man, it's probably, I hate to say it because during it, I did not like it, but man, it's probably the best decision I ever made in my life. Because there's a reason that my grades were like that. You know what I mean? There's a reason that I was even in that situation to not play. And a lot of that has to do with, you know, taking ownership, taking responsibility. And man, when you go into the military, and it is not about you, and you really have to come together, especially in the first couple months of that whole scenario. We're talking boot camp, we're talking A and C schools, things that, you know, when you get further down the line, whatever, some of that stuff doesn't matter. But the whole idea about the military is really in those first months, it's like almost like they look at you like a child, because they break you down in such a way mentally that they're going to build you back up. And if you're not willing to just accept that, dude, and here's a little, I don't know if anybody knows this tidbit into when you first get to boot camp. When you first get to boot camp, at least in the Navy, they keep you up for a solid 48 to like 72 hours so that you become mentally and physically exhausted to a point where like they can kind of tell you anything and you're just kind of like, yeah, dude, like I'm in. You know what I mean? Like whatever it's going to take me to tell you to why I can go to bed, like that's what we need to do right now. Sure. And it's really genius the way that they, you know, kind of honestly psychologically attack you. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not, you know, I say that and it probably sounds malicious. It's not. It's really to benefit our country and to benefit, you know, the whole team aspect. I know a ton of football teams that do stuff like that too, where they, you know, they kind of try to break their players down and, you know, make them all come together as a team, right? But man, yeah, I would never, to be honest with you, I would probably never do it again if I had the chance. If I knew what I knew now, I'd be like, hey, like just go and man up and do these things, right? But man, did I learn about being on time, being punctual? Did I learn about how to have manners and how to be respectful to people and how, you know, hey, listen, the world does not revolve around me. I gained a little perspective. I learned how to be even more than just sports, but I learned how to be a part of a team. And a team that like felt like, hey, it mattered. And I did a lot of cool stuff, man. I mean, I went to Japan, Singapore, you know, Canada, Panama, Cabo, tons of places. And you know, that stuff, looking back, like I said, I don't really miss the Navy, but man, do I miss the people. And I think that's the biggest perspective, bros. When you talk about, you know, people serving their country, like, man, those are actually people. Like, those are actually people go, like, just choosing to go to war for us and choosing to sacrifice their freedom and I mean, because you literally do not have freedom when you're in the military. I'm telling you right now, the amount of Christmases and Thanksgivings and times that I was told that, hey, listen, like, that's not your call to make. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just leave. Like, if I left, I would have went to jail. They would have calmed me down and been like, yo, you're a deserter. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get freedom, but it's for this bigger cause so that other people can have freedom. And it puts life in so much perspective for you. So, you know, it was kind of a selfish decision, but ended up being one that I probably desperately needed, to be honest with you. And I went in and I was an OS, an operations specialist. Essentially has to do with like reading radars.
Were you on an aircraft?
No, so I was on a they called, I don't think they're there anymore, but they were frigates. They're like probably cruise around like 140, 150, all male ship unless you were an officer, because officers got their own rooms. So we had like 2 or 3 female officers, but it was actually an all male ship, which was even crazier that they put me on that. And it was like the smallest of the ships. So I'm telling you, dude, Mitch, one time off the coast of, I don't know if you've ever been to the Oregon coast. It's beautiful. But, like, miles off the Oregon coast, I swear I've been to a ton of different seas, Mitch. The Oregon coast is the roughest I've ever been. At one point, Mitch, I'm walking,
Really?
and it's like, I want to say it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, right? We're transporting a submarine, but we got to go get it. So we're kind of like flying. We're going like 20, 25 knots in the Oregon coast. And at one time, I'm like doing watch or something, and I go down to the calf. I'll say the calf because that's not what they call it, but we call it the calf. And there's this point where I go down, I grab some food or whatever, and I'm walking back. It's pitch black. They're like the red lights. I don't know if you guys have ever seen military movies where they have like red lights in the ship or whatever. It genuinely looks like that. And I'm walking, and the boat is a-rocking. And I'm telling you, I'm not capping when I say at one point I'm walking, and we did such a turn. I started to walk on the wall because the way that the boat was, like, the waves were like pushing the boat, it was so tilted that we were walking on walls, man. And like, it's crazy. Like, the amount of seasickness I got in the first week, I think I threw up 7 or 8 times in one day, but I never threw up after that. You like immediately adjust after you throw up a bunch. I don't know what it is, but yeah, man, fun times, crazy times. But it was definitely an experience and probably worth it. I don't want to say it was worth it because I look back and I'm like, man, dang it. You know what I'm saying? But like, it was cool, man. It was dope. Hopefully that answers your question.
Absolutely. We have one of my managers that I worked with for a while. He was stationed in San Diego Navy. He's air traffic control for one of the, one of the ships down there. So it was kind of funny to hear your story. I've heard so many of his stories and stuff, and how crazy it is and stuff. He no longer is
like the aircraft, the big ones you're talking about.
Yeah, the big ones.
Those are genuinely, Mitch. Those are cities floating on. There's like 5,000 people on those boats, dude. It's insane.
It's ridiculous. So, anyways, let me tell you a little bit.
Yeah, tell me the story about the coin. This is incredible.
So this is the largest challenge token that the Marines have ever made. So, and I'm in possession of it.
Can you put that up to the camera?
Yeah, let me see. I got a manual focus, so I'm gonna try to make this something.
And Mal, I'm gonna take you off the screen so people can see this a little bit clearer.
I don't know if you guys can. I'm just gonna drop it.
Yeah.
No. It's heavy. It's like very shiny, and it has like the platoon squads and stuff on it. And I'll tell you a little bit about it in the story because it actually means a lot to me, and I guess gives you a little bit of perspective of what.
That is a nice coin, dude.
It is. It is. So let me see if I can get this focus back. I don't want to. Okay, so I'm a linebacker for 4 years in football, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 years I was a starter, and I worked with my linebacker coach. We were homies. We were the best. I understood this defense inside and out, every hole, gap. I can coach it back and forth, whatever. Becoming a senior, we actually had a new linebacker coach come in. His name is Coach Battle. Now, at the time, Coach Battle came in, and he was from the Marines. He was missing a finger actually on one of his hands. He kind of walks with a limp because he can't feel his leg because he got. I'll explain the story in a little bit, but yeah, he got his whole calf was flayed off in battle. Anyways, so what happened was he came in and he did the same thing to an extent. Obviously, not as crazy, but you know how they just psychologically destroy you. He's like, what they do in the Marines, they shave your head. You're not allowed to say your first name. You lose your identity because they're going to rebuild it back in you, right? And that's what he wanted to do on the football team. Now, I didn't take that well at first because I had been here for 3 years. So why are you going to make me a nobody, right? Why? So I didn't handle that well. And it was to the point where I think he understood. And so he actually did something kind of interesting. He did the exact opposite. So making people uncomfortable to him was like, he will yell at you. He'll get on you. I was the complete opposite. He put me in so many positions to like, I have to be the guy to go coach that. Or there's a mistake. He's like, Mitch, you got to go fix that. That made me uncomfortable. Like it was so uncomfortable. That's all. He always knew, like at the heart of your soul, if I can make you uncomfortable and make your character during an uncomfortable moment, that's how I can build you. So we ended up becoming super duper close after having a pretty rough time in the beginning because he would make more mistakes than me during film and stuff, and I would actually correct him, but he didn't like that. But then I was also so. Anyways, huge fight. But we became just the closest friends when we started working together. Like I said, he gave me a whistle. I started coaching with him at practices. We did all the drills together. We did all the film together. So he was actually he was in Afghanistan, and he was going into a house. You're clearing out rooms, and apparently there was people on top that dropped grenades down. So grenade blew up. So he actually turned and ran for the window, but the window was barred off, so he ran right into that. So the grenade went off, and it actually took out a pretty nice chunk of his calf that was bleeding. One of the guys there that was alive grabbed him by the neck and was able to drag him out of the out of the house, and they realized that his calf was bleeding. The only way to actually get the bleeding to stop is they actually had to like cut his leg, like fillet his calf in order to wrap it. I don't know the full story, but a way you can cut it to actually like stop the bleeding. Anyways, as they were doing that, another grenade landed next to him. So they covered him up. He kind of turned and stuff. It blew up. It actually took his whole hand off pretty much, or it took off a finger, most of his thumb. His thumb was pretty much hanging down. Again, medical crews were able to. So he went through a lot. Like he went through like the thick of it. And he was able to get his, his calf healed, his hand healed, but he wasn't able to serve anymore due to injuries. So he came back, became a football coach. But the Marines gave him this, and as the challenge token for your service, for fighting and going through that. Yeah, now you're wondering why the hell in the world would I have that? So we became such good friends. By the end of the year, we were talking, and he's like, Mitch, I want you to come to office. This is past the season. This is as I graduated, like the last time I was going to see him. Brought me up to his office, and he's crying because how much I started tearing up because that was like kind of like our goodbye last time we're going to see each other. And he's like, Mitch, I got something for you. And he handed me this whistle with my name engraved on it because at the time I was going to go coach right at that Oklahoma school.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to give you your first coaching whistle now. And it meant a lot. And I gave him a hug, and I was just looking over, as I gave him a hug, as we're sitting in his office, I was just looking over his shoulder, and I saw this on his desk, and I knew what it was. He had shown me before, but I was staring at it, but he could tell that I was staring at it. And so then he turned around and picked it up and just like flipped in his hand. He goes, like, I want you to have this too. And I was like, Coach, I can't do that. Like you've went through so much to get that. He's like, no, Mitch, like I've had this long enough. I've done my job with it. Now it's your turn to do something great with this. So he handed it over, and I was like, Coach, I can't physically take that. Like I'm giving it back to you. And he said, how about you make me a promise? I said, yeah. And he's like, one day you're going to hand this back to me. That's all I ask. And that was it. He handed it over, and it's the largest challenge token ever made by the Marines. And now it's in my hands, and it doesn't go anywhere without me. It's been in my pocket for the graduation ceremonies, for, my sister's graduation, any big thing. Like this is in my pocket, and it holds close to my heart. But the fact that someone was willing to give up something like this after all he had to go through to give it to me, just like that's just kind of the respect we built and the love we have for each other. And I was only able to accept it under the terms that I have to give it back to him one day, which means I have to meet up with him again one day.
Yeah.
I still check it. I still call them. But this isn't mine. This is his, but he wants me to do something special with this and then be able to give it back to him one day. So that's the story of the coin that I have with me.
Dude,
yeah.
That is a nutty story because that is like, I don't think people like, because I was in the military, I was in the Navy, but like, bro, people who actually fought in Afghanistan and understand what war is like, and, it's such a different thing, man. Those people, that is the people who deserve respect. That is, and not saying that certain military people don't deserve respect, but it's like, dude, that level of sacrifice for what he went through with his leg and then his hand, and it's like, that is something that is immeasurable. That is something that like the common American has no idea.
Yeah,
bro. Like the sacrifice of what he gave. Like and people don't realize, like, you signed to do that. He signed up for that, which is insane, bro. Which makes him such a leader, such a positive. Honestly, makes him a superhero, bro. To be honest with you.
So I felt.
And I just, man, that is a very touching story, and I just like that blows my mind. First of all, that just knowing military people, bro, like you should feel really special because that's crazy that he gave that to you.
What he said when he handed it to me too, because I wanted like to know more about it and stuff, but he said even the president of the United States can't get one of these. Like the most powerful man in the world cannot get one of these. Like what you have to go through to get one of these is beyond what anyone can imagine. So. Yeah, so there's a reason why it's by my side. It's right next to me, no matter where I go and stuff.
Bro,
like I said,
that's the type of shit, bro, that I'm talking about. Like I'm sitting here and I'm telling like it could go in one ear and out the other, but it's like, bro, like I'm literally sitting here talking to you, and I understand why you're successful. I understand why you work hard because it's stories like these, and it's I know I don't even have to meet this guy. I know from the story that it's like this dude giving you this coin is not something that he takes lightly or you don't take lightly either. Sure. So it's like, to me, it's like, bro, like I know, just not know, but I have an idea being in the military of what he went through to get that.
Sure. Absolutely.
So what I'm saying to you now is like the fact that he would say like this, like I'm giving this to you is like he saw something that he liked in you, bro, that he has not seen ever before. So of course, this shit that you got going on is blowing up. Of course, the stuff that you're working hard on is fucking moving, bro, because like it takes leaders to do stuff like that, man. And that's obviously what you are, man.
Thank you.
Listen, bro, I kind of want to end the pod on that, because that is something that I feel like we're not going to top a story like that. Before we get you out of here, listen, hey, for everybody listening, thank you for listening to Aim High Podcast, because I'm telling you right now, and we've talked about it in this podcast, you don't have to. It's the ultimate free will decision to listen to something like this. So the fact that you would do it, me and Mal are forever thankful. Listen, if you want more of me and Mal, links are going to be in the description below. As always, I need you guys to sub up, hit the like button, join the Noti gang. Listen, we need the subs. Subs on YouTube is like, I don't know, it's like everything. I actually don't know. I don't know anything about YouTube, Mitch. I'm out here, dude. I'm just uploading, doing my thing. I love bringing in YouTube people like you and Agent to tell me all about this stuff, because YouTube is such a different world than Twitch. But we love it. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Of course, links will be in the description. We're streaming tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time on the Twitch channel, in the links description. But we are also going to have some links in the description for our main man, Mitch. Mitch, we're going to end the podcast. I'm going to play the outro music, and I need you to tell people what you got going on in your life, and then end it with a phrase or a word, and just let them just serenade in that. Let them serenade in the wisdom that Mitch has to offer.
Absolutely. First off, Aim High, Mal, thank you guys so much for allowing me to be on this podcast. I had so much fun with my first podcast, guys, getting to share some of my story. And I know this is first of many, as what I love to do is put my information out there to help others and inspire others. This is not possible without people like Mal and Aim High. So guys, please do click that link below, drop a sub. I promise it won't hurt you, and it'll probably benefit you, as I know they're going to have some amazing people on. Guys, this has been Mitch, Aim High, Mal. Thank you guys so much. Remember, positivity wins. We love you. Peace.